Okay. The equation, here you go. The equation of a circle. Stop at any time and ask any questions. The equation of a circle. I wrote up there in red y equals mx plus b. Anybody know what that's an equation for? What type of graph? Oh, okay, let me. That's my fault. I should have rephrased this question better. If I graph anything in the form of y equals mx plus b, what do I call that graph? It's a line. That's all I was. It's a line, right? What if I graph something in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c? Anybody know the name of that type of graph? Something that's got x squared as the highest exponent. That's a parabola. All right, that's a parabola, yes. All right, so today I'm going to show you the version for a circle. And here's the version right here. It looks very, very complicated at first, but it is not at all. Okay, what's that? If I graph, here you go. If I ask you to graph 3x plus 2, that's a line. If I ask you to graph x squared plus 2x plus 1, that's a parabola. If it comes in this form, which I'm going to show you right now, it's got to be a circle. Okay? It looks very complicated. It's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different variables, but you're only concerned with 3 of them. All right? First 2 you're concerned with are h and k. Okay? There will be numbers plugged in for h and k. Those numbers plugged in for h and k make a coordinate. H is the x coordinate, k is the y coordinate, and that will tell you the center of the circle. That will tell you where the center of the circle is located. And then we have to worry about the r value. Not r squared, the r value. And since we're dealing with circles, a wild guess what that'll be? That'll be the length of the radius length. Now I just want you to pay attention. Hey, r is the radius length, but there's going to be a number in there that represents r squared. So here's what I'm talking about. Say 25's in there. 25 is not the radius length. 25 is the radius length squared. So what must have been my radius length? 5. Okay, see how this is going to work? All right, so the number here is not the length of the radius. It's whatever the radius is squared. Okay? Anything, and x and y stay x and y. Okay, just like your old equations have. All right, we're not going to plug in for those. That'll stay x and y. And I got some more good news coming up. But before that, all right, I have a circle with a center at 3, -3, and a radius length of 6. Can you write the equation of that circle? So let me put up the basic one right now. All right, let me put up the basic. Y equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals, I'm sorry, there's no y equals there, equals r squared. What are the 3 values we're concerned about? The first 2 are h and k, the center of the circle. The center of my circle, 3, -3. So what's going to get plugged in for h? Just 3. So everyone, x minus 3 squared plus, what's going to get plugged in for k? -3. So y minus a -3, this will actually turn into y plus 3. Everybody, all right? All squared equals, what's the radius? 6, but I'm plugging in radius squared, so I don't want to plug in 6. I want to plug in 6 squared, or 36. The good news I was talking about, that is it. Don't try to be fancy over here and try to double distribute or multiply anything. This is the equation of a circle that's got a radius length of 6 and a center at 3, -3. All right, plug in for h and k, the centers. Everyone all right why I changed to +3 here? Because I plugged in a negative number. Everyone all right why it's 36? Okay, here's a graph of a circle now. What's the equation of this circle that I've graphed for you? All right, well, can anybody pick off the center point for me? The center of that circle. Knowing here's a point, 3, 3 on the circle, and the radius length looks to be about 2. Can anybody pick off what the center must have been? That center point, 17, that's center point. 1, 3, yep. So the center's 1, 3. And it's telling me the radius is a length of 2. So here we go. X minus 1 squared plus y minus or plus here. Minus 3 squared equals, now what's in for r squared? Not 2, but 4, 2 squared. Whew. Everyone all right where all this is coming from here? Because it's going to get a little nuts here in about 10 minutes. All right, circle, center is 0, -2, radius a radical 26 now. The radius length is the square root of 26. All right, well, I was given the center, so it's going to be x minus 0 squared plus y, what happens now? Plus 2 squared. All right, take your time here. The radius length is radical 26. So what should I put here for r squared, Sean? 26. Why? Because, here, take a look. You're taking square root of 26 and squaring it. And that ends up, yes, being 26. Now, hold on. I just want to show you, that's fine. If you leave it like that, you may see it differently in your book, though. They may simplify this part here to what? Anybody? X minus 0 is just x squared. You may see this instead. So if nothing's with the x, we assume that coordinate's 0. All right, if nothing's with the y, we assume that coordinate's 0. All right, so either one you could see. Ask away before we get different now. What if I don't give you the center or the radius? All right, a little different. I gave you the center and a point the circle goes through, but I did not give you the radius. Go ahead. Can you get at least the left side of the equation done for me? Can you get the left side of the circle equation done? X, we got plus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared. I need to find out what the heck is the radius length. Here's the center. Here's a point on the circle. What happens if I connect those two? What do I end up getting? If I connect this center with this point on the circle, I end up with what? The radius length, right? So what can I do with those 2 points? Find the distance, yeah, right? Find the distance between those points. So subtract your x's right now. 1 minus a -3 squared plus, subtract your y's. What happens there? -2 plus 2 squared. What do I get in there? 1 plus 3 all squared gives me 16 plus -2 plus 2 squared. Yep. What's the length of this radius? 4, so what should I plug in for r squared? 4 squared or 16, yep. And I don't know, some of you, Justin, I heard you say it. I wanted to show it this way anyway, but if you notice, -2 and -2 have the same y coordinates. So you could have just counted the distance from -3 to 1. It would have been 4. But that's not going to happen all the time. So I wanted to at least show you using the distance formula. All right, ready to graph a circle? AKA use your compass. If you don't, just freehand it. Okay, how do I graph x minus 2 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 36? Well, you need 2 things. You need the center and you need the radius. First time we're doing this today. Can you pick off the center given the equation now? It's the first time we're doing this because I've had you write the equation every time now. But now I want you guys to pick off the center for me, given that equation. Pick off the center of the circle. the center of this circle. What's in for H? 2. And how did this become plus 1? By plugging in a negative number, -1. So go ahead, everyone, plot 2, -1. 2, -1, plot that sucker. What else do you know about this circle that might help us out? The radius is not 36, but 6. So how do you think I can graph a couple more points so I can graph this circle? Radius is 6. Will? I can go right 6, left 6, up 6, down 6 from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And then some of you are finding out, I'm going to take my compass now and put the compass point on the center, pencil point on one of the points on the circle, and something you guys may have wanted to do all year long. Yep, swing her all the way around. Make that point a little bigger there. Whew. Okay, beautiful circles here. Get moving on these next two. Oh boy. All right, everyone. Deep breath. Put those compasses down. You won't need them for a couple more minutes here. We got our work cut out now with this next one. We don't like this because it's not in the circle form, right? We need to get it into the circle form. Okay, we need to get it into the circle form. First step, make sure that extra numbers to the other side if it's not already. So -8 there, leave it there. Next step, let's get the x's and the y's together. So can we rewrite this for me so the x's and the y's are all together next to each other? All right, so rearrange the order right now of that equation so the x's and the y's are right next to each other. X squared minus 8x, y squared plus 2y equals -8. Many of you are, I don't know if you're thinking, how the heck are we going to make this look like this? Okay, here we go, guys. Get on board because it's a topic you did last year. Probably have no idea or remember anything about it. We are going to do a procedure called complete the square from last year. All right, we are going to complete the square. I'm going to go as slow as possible because, hey, we're going to have to do this twice. We're going to have to do it once for my group of x's, and we're going to have to do it once for my group of y's. All right, I'm going to take this as slow as possible. So let's do it for the group of x's first, completing the square. You need to add something to x squared minus 8x to make it a perfect square. Here's, anybody remember how to find it? Because I'll give you the glory. Okay, what's my b value? Hopefully it'll start coming back when we go over these. What's my b value? Negative b value. B value up here. I got an A and a B here. What's the B value? -8. Take half of it. Square it. Okay. You take your B value. You take half of it and square it. What was that number you just came out with? -8x plus 16. Take half your b value, square it. Let's do it for the y's now. Let's do it for the y's. What's the b value on the y? 2. Everybody ready? Take half of it. 1. Square it. Still 1. Plus 1. Okay, problem now. Problem. Here's what you did. Ready? Here was the equation. And then you added 16 and 1. Here's what happened to it. What am I trying to get at other than looking like a fool right now? It's unbalanced. What did you add to the left side? 17, right? 16 and 1. Keep it balanced. What am I going to add to the right side? 17 as well. So that'll be equal to, woohoo, 9. Okay, all right. Maybe see some light at the end of the tunnel there. All right. Questions. This is painstakingly slow, but questions on where I get the 16 and 1. Half your b value squared. We got one more step to complete the square. Don't do it. Somebody what is x squared minus 8x plus 16 if I asked you to factor it? Two numbers that multiply to 16 but add to 8. Anybody real quick here? Negative 4n. How could I creatively rewrite that? X minus 4 all. Ho-ho! Starting to look like it now. By the way, if you don't want to factor it, I highly recommend not. Anybody know where I got negative 4 from? Half of your b value. That's what number can go in here, half your b value. Plus, what number should go in here now? What was half your b value? Positive. And look what you have right now on your hands. The circle equation. That's the circle equation right there. With the center now of what? Oh, what's my center? Be careful. 4, negative 1, and a radius length of 3. Something I can graph now. Don't worry about the graph. I know you guys know how to graph it now. I want to try to get done with the next complete the square problem. So at least get 2 in, because this one's not going to make you great. Everyone all right? Okay, you can go back and we can graph it later on. All right, here we go. Another one. We'll get it in. What do you got it before you even sniff completing the square? You got to make sure what? It's in order, and that 40, that c value is onto the other side. So go ahead right now. Rewrite the order so the x's and y's are paired together, and that 40 is on the other side. Okay, let's complete the square for the x's now. For the x's. What is your b value, first of all, for the x's? B value divided by 2. Squared. Plus 16. What about for the y's now? Can you do it without, what is my new c value on the y's? Half your b value squared should be 49. Good. It's tipping to the left. So what are we going to add to negative 40? 16 and 49. 65. Perfect. And that'll give me, ooh, nice, 25, right? So we okay on finding the c values? All right, here we go. What's going to go in that first parenthesis? X, half your b value, plus 4. And then for the y's, half your b value, sign included, minus 7 squared. So what was your center for this one? Negative 4, positive 7. And your radius length? 5. Go ahead and graph both while we still have time. You're going to have a couple of those where you have to complete the square tonight. As you got, finish graphing, please. Finish graphing. If you think you need graph paper for tonight, please grab a couple slices on your way out, because you are going to have to graph at some point tonight on the homework.